Now, dear students and future job seekers, the future managers. Now, here I welcome you back to one more short video on PI. That is, we were having a discussion on some of the topics of PI, that is personality interview, and I had a gap in between due to some personal reasons. So I welcome you all again back to this new video on, specifically we'll be discussing about body language in job interview. And body language is also a very broad topic, lot many things are involved. So we'll go by, phase wise. We'll take up each and one, some of the major elements of body language, right? And how it is so important for job interview, right? So the title or the topic for today's video is body language in job interview, and specifically we'll be discussing about your appearance, right? Now, before I go into the discussion part, you must be observing in my earlier video, I appeared little bit different. I look different. And today I am looking little bit different due to some reasons, right? So first of all, when you saw this particular video, you might have, got some way confused, who is this new man? Now, what I want to say, appearance draws our attention first. Then we listen to people. Okay? Now, here I start with a few very important quotes as usual. One of them goes like this. When the eyes say one thing or says one thing and the tongue says another thing, a practical man relies on the language of the first, that is the eyes. Now, this is what had said Ralph Waldo Emerson, an American essayist. Now, second one I quote is one more person who is a very important person in the management discipline, is none other than Peter F. Drucker. He is a very, prominent management consultant. What he says, connected to our topic today, the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. That means your body language. So, somebody who wants to assess you, perceive you, right, must try to hear or listen to what you don't say. What does it mean? Your appearance, your behavior, your non-verbal cues, right? After this, I'll quote here a figure by one of the very important researchers, Dr. Albert Mehrabian, who did his research in 1960s and had concluded about oral communication. Communication has different branches: oral communication, verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication, right? Lot many are there. We'll go slowly and steadily into each one of this. Now, what he found, only 7% of the oral communication is verbal, 38% is vocal tone, 55% is based on visual clues. Now, visual cues are nothing but your body language. Now, you must remember that in interviews, particularly job interviews, which you are most likely to face after post your completion, or you might have already started, we are already into job market. So remember these two most important things. Sending the right message in a job interview depends more than just your words, what you say. Your interviewers assess you more than what you say, right? What does it mean? Your appearance, right? The way you present yourself, your gestures, your eye contact can convey a great deal of information. It is said that 55% of the cues sent during an interview or a conversation are influenced by your body language. Now, before I proceed further, I'll just give you an example in our daily life. When we see someone for the first time, so what we do, right? Be it in your institution, be it in your office, anywhere, marketplace, what exactly you do. Now reflect back what I am saying. We observe the person from top to toes, his dresses, his attire, his expressions, and try to form an opinion. When I say expression, doesn't mean verbal expressions, oral expressions. He is still silent. So we try to form an opinion before having any conversation. Okay, and same thing happens in the job interview. When you enter the job interviewer's chamber, they look at you from the top to toes and try to form an opinion regarding you. Now, interviewers form an opinion through physical observation and assumptions about a candidate, and it is done in the first 1 or 2 minutes. And subsequently what they do? They have a Q&A session, question answer session, and they try to cross check whether whatever they had assumed was right or wrong, to what extent they were correct. Okay. Now, a few things that you as a job interviewee, right, should actually remember. First is create the right first impression. Okay. Now, through your body language, you have to create a first impression about you. Then you build a rapport, and then confidence in you will automatically come in. Now, through your body language also you project yourself as a serious professional. And this is also, your body language is an excellent way to show that you are enthusiastic, you are interested in, right, in the role that you are going to appear for interview. Your body language draws more focused attention of the interviewers. If your body language is good enough, they obviously will give you more attention than otherwise. Now, see, body language is, again, as I said, is a very broad topic. It may include a few things that I am listing out here. Now, mind you, this is also not an exhaustive list. Some of the most important things that forms or goes into framing our body language could be like this: personal appearance, which we are going to discuss today, facial expressions, mannerism, positive postures and gestures, your eye contact, the manner of speaking, right, your attitude and behavior, whether you are radiating enthusiasm, right. All these could be part of major part of some of the important element of body language. Let's go one by one. We'll basically talk today about your personal appearance. How should you appear to your prospective organization or interviewers? Now, you must remember this old dictum: the first impression lasts long. Even if this first impression may not be always accurate, but it lasts long enough for people to form opinion regarding you. Now, the way you as an interviewer is dressed has a immediate impact. I am repeating, immediate impact on the interviewers. Therefore, you should give serious consideration to your dress or attire. Your appearance colors the interviewer's perception about you. Now, let us take one practical example in a job interview. What happens? There are two candidates. One of them is untidy and gives a very unclear, confused, disorganized answers, whereas the other candidate, who is well groomed, neatly dressed, and also equally he is giving in disorganized answers. His answers are equally unclear, right? But what happens to the outcome ultimately? Most likely the former will be likely to be considered. Former means what? The candidate who was untidy, unclear, and was giving confused answer, he will be considered as sloppy, careless, and he will be obviously assessed unfavorably, unsuitable for the role. Whereas the latter, his behavior, though the answers were equally disorganized, right, but then because his appearance was good enough, so all these deficiencies in the answers, responses, it will be overshadowed by his attractive appearance, right? So the lacuna in the response will be considered or attributed to, let's say, nervousness. The candidate is good enough, but he is nervous and that's why he didn't respond. So obviously you see the difference between the two candidates is because of the dress or attire. Now, if there are only these two candidates, most likely what happens is the latter will be considered, whereas the former will obviously be eliminated, rejected. Therefore, what is the takeaway for us and particularly for you students? Okay. Now, it is very important in terms of appearance to show that you have taken care of yourself, right? Otherwise, if you are not taken care of your appearance, what they are going to perceive about you, that you are a careless, candidate here, and also you are likely to be equally careless when you get into the organizations. Second thing is, dress is particularly important if the job role or the job for which you are being interviewed, where the personal appearance and your dress matter a great deal. Okay? Take for example a sales or marketing executive or a PRO, public relation officers. So you are likely to meet your clients, people, public, media, and so it is very important that you should look at presentable. Now, third thing is the position one is applying and the type of organization. This can give you some clues about how smartly you should dress for the interview. Okay, and this you can find out from earlier, doing some, research. You can easily get an idea about what is the dress culture, what type of organization it is. Now, next thing is, either extreme is bad. So don't overdress or underdress, right? Both underdressing as well as overdressing should be avoided. Avoid clothes that make you feel uncomfortable, such as those clothes where you look, those clothes which are thick, very thin, or not fitting you well, very tight. Particularly new clothes which you have not earlier put on or used, don't take the risk of putting on that and going to an interview, because it may be so that you are feeling very self-conscious. Now, safest option then, what is the safest option then? What should you do? Ensure that you look clean, look smart and tidy, not only in your attire, mind you, dresses, but also your hairstyle, your fingernails, your shoes, right? Everything. Facial expressions. Now, so let us go into what all aspects you need to pay special attention. First is the clothing and attire. As I said, begin with. Now, a good rule of thumb is to dress one step above the typical dress code that the company might have already put it as a part of their organizational culture. So, dress one step above that. Okay. Now, what are some of the thumb rules then? Instead of simply formal trousers and contrasting full shirts, put on a coat and a tie. Ensure that the clothes are clean and pressed, right? Free from stains, wrinkles, right? And this can be easily be done. Avoid overly tight or baggy garments. Neither wear too loose ones. That's not fitting you. Wear clean, polished shoes. As I said, they look at you from top to toes before the interview starts. Right? Now, likewise, let's go into, special some formal attire. I am not going to details of. So, what the men should do? They should wear a conservative suit in navy blue, charcoal grey or a black. That's the standard. And A contrasting colored shirt better fits into. A tie or a conservative tie is a must. A matching belt also you should put on. Polished shoes are a must, and shoes must be black, dark tan, not the sportswear, mind you. And particularly for the women also, you must put on a pant suit which is tailored for you, should be of knee length. It could be a skirt also, professional skirt, that's also quite appropriate. Closed toe heels, shoes, minimum of jewelry, mind you. Don't put on too much of jewelry, that will be quite distracting, because you have to look professional and presentable. Now, grooming and hygiene also equally important, because that also contributes to your appearance. So, have a complete shower, brush your teeth properly, that you should not give a foul smell, right? Use some deodorant, but avoid very strong perfumes or cologne, mind you. What about your hairstyle then? Just simply ensure that your hair is clean, tidy, styled appropriately for a professional setting, of course. Don't imitate any, silver screen actors, right? Spikes, right? Don't do that. Make sure your fingernails are very clean, they are trimmed. Ladies may put on some nail polish, but choose a subdued color, not very eye-catching. Now, as I said, avoid excessive distracting jewelry. Okay? Then play also safe in terms of not having any visible tattoos on your arms, right? If at all it is there, try to cover it up. Okay? That gives a very poor image of you, right? Very unprofessional you look. Facial piercing, some people do it now. Okay? That will also give you a very conservative first impressions. So avoid that also. Now, what all other things you should avoid? Okay? Even if there is no dress code for the organization as such, specifically prescribed, so what all you should do? Some of them I will be repeating here. Wrinkled or ill-fitting clothes you must avoid at all cost. There should be no wrinkle, right? Then casual items. What are those? Hoodies, putting on the head. A t-shirt with patches all around. Don't also give a athletic look by wearing a, what you call that track pant or something like that, right? Then over accessorizing one should avoid. What is this over accessorizing? As I said earlier, keep the jewelry and other accessories to the minimum. Okay, if you are even a female candidate, you can put on a earring, it's fine, but let it not hang onto your shoulder, right? Avoid these, as I said, strong scents. Skip cologne and perfumes which are too very high strong fragrance, and then, as I said, tattoos should be all very perfectly covered, not to be visible in your this armpit somewhere. Don't do it. Shoulder. Your physical appearance is one of the biggest factor, mind you, that people consider when forming an opinion regarding you in a general situation, and also particularly in a job interview. Okay? Now, pay attention to some other things that I am just listing out here very quickly, because this is all going to be creating a first impression. Your appearance, it creates a first impression about you. Subsequently, your QA session begins and how you respond. That's something different. We'll go into all those in separate video. Now, one thing you should do is seek permission to enter the interview hall, unless you are already permitted or called in. Okay, wait at the door a few seconds. Close the door gently behind after entering the interview room. Don't just kick it back, making a loud bang, Then look at the interviewers with a smile of acknowledgement. See, smile of acknowledgement. There can be different types of smile. Okay? Then walk steadily to the chair provided for you. Okay? Now, regarding shaking hands, be prepared for shaking hands, but let the interviewers initiate. You don't initiate, right? Don't offer your hand straight away after entering shaking hands. It is better, they initiate and then you can respond. Look at the interviewer in his or her eyes, and when that too also smilingly. What happens in a panel interview? There will be more than one. So obviously do the same. That means you look at the eyes and smile with each interviewers in turn as you are introduced to each. Most likely the chairman may welcome you, and then he or she will be introducing you to the rest of the panel members. So look at each one of them in a smiling face. Wait to be asked to sit. Just because the chair is there, don't occupy it straight away. Right? Now, all these are part of, mind you, what we call as your appearance determinants in a job interview, which we should be very careful about. Now, appearance is the first impression creator, so be very particular about this, right? And this is part of, soft skill which you students might have already been introduced to you in as part of your academic calendar, right? Must have got some inputs, right? So, because it's the image you create in the appearance is everything. Your image you create in your appearance is everything. That will influence the outcome of the job interview. So your appearance is surely one of the most important determinant of a job interview outcome, right? So it's so important. Please pay some attention to these which we discussed just now. We'll continue with the rest all, elements of, body language, because this was, as before I conclude, let me tell you, your appearance was one of the aspects we were discussing today, right? How do you appear more professional, presentable and acceptable to your interviewers, particularly in job interviews, right? We'll see other elements or other components of body language subsequently. Let me tell you, here we are discussing body language, not the non-verbal communication as such, because non-verbal communication, is a very broader concept as compared to body language. Body language is one of the element of non-verbal communication. We'll go into this subsequently in, different videos. Thank you all.